lesson today, we are going to build off of what we did in previous lessons regarding the cookbook here. Now we have created our left page, and in that we have created a lot of style that we are going to continue to utilize throughout this entire cookbook. We're going to go ahead and set some styles today, character styles that are going to make life easier on us, where we can just click a button and get the fonts that we need. As we build this today, we're going to look at everything you need to do to be able to build the additional spreads that are coming. Your job after this lesson is going to be to build all of these different spreads and more if you would like to. So let's get into how we're going to create this document today. Back in InDesign, we need to be able to save some of the styles that we've created. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and grab this Sinfully Sweet and Desserts styles. Now I don't want to grab a paragraph style here because they're different things. I want to grab just a character style. So grabbing just the word sinfully, I'm going to go to my character styles and I'm going to hit this plus sign right here. And this is, we're going to call this H2. That's my second header. It's not as big or as bold as this header, but it is part of the headers. So I'm going to call that H2. I'm going to grab a chunk of the desserts here. It doesn't matter how many letters, just grab a letter. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to call that H1. Now I did it in that order so that I know I can click on this one for the top, this one for the bottom, right? Good. Now we're going to create a couple of other styles as we build today, but we're going to need both of these pretty quickly because we're going to create a piece of text right here. Now, you could go in here and grab the ones that say chocolate chip cookies. That's going to be our next thing because we're building the chocolate chip cookie page. However, instead of doing that and following these instructions, what we could do instead is just duplicate this text over to the right. Turn that to that dark gray color that should be in your swatches for the cookbook. And then retype what it's supposed to say. So instead of simply sweet, we type in chocolate chip. And then instead of desserts, we type in the word cookies. Good. I'm going to center align those so that they look like this. That gives me my basic chocolate chip cookies option. I'm going to duplicate this circle over here because I want this circle to be visible somewhere on every single page. And I'm just going to have this one over here in the top right corner. Nothing predominant. I just want it there. Okay, we're going to use circles in other places on this one. Now, we're going to end up with 3 little dots right here that are those circles. So I can duplicate that circle again and shrink it down pretty significantly. I'm going to go to about 1 inch by 1 inch, maybe even a little smaller. And I'm going to create 3 little circles right here. I want to make sure that they're aligned with each other. So I'm going to grab all 3 and I'm going to look at my alignment options. The first thing I want to do is make sure they're aligned on that vertical line and that they're distributed equally that way so that there's an equal amount of space between each one. All right, now that I have these here, I'm going to click on each one of these and I'm going to place an image into this spot. So I'm going to hit Command D or File Place to place an image. Now, you're not going to find these images over in the Images folder. They're going to be in the Sinfully logo document. Now, remember when we're placing AI files, we always want to hit that Show Import Options so we can pick which one we want. And I'm going to hit Open here, and it's going to ask me which one do I want. I want the 3rd, 4th, or 5th one in this set. The first one's going to be the temperature, and I'm going to hit Open. The second one, I'm going to bring in the exact same logo, but I'm going to go to my 4th option for time. And on the right side, same thing under that Sinful logo. I'm going to grab my 5th image, and that is my servings. Grabbing all 3 of these, Shift Option Command C to make sure they fit. It's not going to work well with them. You actually need to go in and make these smaller. So select these images as needed and just kind of shrink them down a little bit. Make sure that they're all kind of equal in weight. That's the ultimate goal here. Good. Now I want to make these pop just a little bit, so I'm going to grab each one of these and I'm going to apply an effect to them. So I'm going to add a little bit of a drop shadow to it, and I never want a drop shadow to be a kick in the face. I always want the opacity to be very low, and I want the distance to be very low as well. So it's just a subtle drop shadow. Hit OK when you're at 20% and 0.06 inches distance. I'm also going to come in here and add a bevel and emboss, and that's going to give it a little bit of a 3D look, but it comes in a very large size. So I want to make the size a little lower, that 0.06 size, and under opacity, I want to drop that to about 50% for the highlight and the shadow, so it's not such a punch in the face. And that gives me these nice little buttons here. Now over on the right hand side, I'm going to go ahead and put my instructions because they're a little easier to place. Let's go ahead and make that frame over here. And we'll go to our PDF to find that breakdown. So right here where it says instructions all the way down, we're going to grab all of this area here to allow cookies to cool. We're going to copy that, go back to this frame, and we're going to paste that text. Now remember, it comes in with the descriptions of the fonts in here as well. Remember, we want to delete that after we're done. So the word instructions is in that same Deuterman font. It's going to be in all caps. It's going to be variable bold. So we're looking for that bold option. And it also says here tracking 300. Now when it says tracking 300, what we're looking for is this option up at the top. Tracking is the spacing between every single character. So when I bump this up to 300, it's going to space out every letter in the set. Gives it a nice little look. Good. So I'm going to get rid of that. No need to keep that. And I'm going to go down to the next section. So prepare the dough. I'm going to select all of this text down here. And I'm going to look at the breakdown right here. It's Deuterman variable medium 12/19. That's what it's saying. So I'm going to pick that font. I'm going to go to medium 12/19. Good. And that's what I get. A very nice, big, bold piece of text. But as I look at this, I think this isn't the best option, personally. I look at this and I say, this looks very similar to the word instructions up here. Maybe it's because we didn't make the instructions big enough. It's supposed to be 16/19. I'll make that change real quick. But even with that, is it big enough? Does it have enough punch down here to be different? We want contrast. So let's select this text again. And instead of doing medium, let's go to light and see if that gives us a contrast. And I think it does. I think it looks a lot better like that. Good. Now select all of this text because I want to separate these paragraphs a little bit. I want to be able to tell what's number one, what's number two without second guessing. With all of it selected, I'm going to space out my paragraphs by about 0.2 inches. And it looks like that does a pretty good job of separating everything. So we need to take a quick minute and kind of look at everything though, because there may be some issues. It happens all the time. I'm looking and I'm seeing that the text is showing up right beside it like it's supposed to on all of them, except for down here where it says cool. Notice cool gets separated. That's because there's a hard return right here. So maybe I back that up, add a little dash. Maybe that looks a little bit better for me. It's entirely up to you kind of how these things work. Maybe you want cool, maybe you want the instructions to be just underneath it like this. So instead of bake preheat oven where it says line here, I hit shift return and drop that down. Chill, cover and refrigerate. Maybe that's all I need to say on that line. Shift return, maybe drop that down. It's up to you how you want it to look. Either way, it's all about making it easy to read for the clients, for the people that are reading this. So if it's easy to read for them, then you've done your job successfully. I'll move this down just a little bit, make sure it fills that area. There we go. All right. Underneath each one of these bullets, I want a very small piece of text right here. And this piece of text is actually just above the instructions. This is the temperature, the time, and how many servings this makes. So I'm going to copy out each one of those and paste them into place. You'll see the size is 11 by 13. So I'll go ahead and change that on this one. Deuterman 11 over 13. And I'm going to center that so it's nice and in the middle. When I make one of these, I can just duplicate that over to the next one, duplicate over to the next one, and that allows me to very quickly kind of change the formatting of it. I don't have to alter the format or change the fonts later. I can just copy and paste this information in, and it'll come in the right font, the right size. Good. So now we're left with the table. The table is where it gets a little complicated. So let's go down to the table here. Now, when it comes to the table, this is what it's expecting to make. These two things, ingredients and shells, are going to be right at the top. They're going to be in the header rows. They're not going to have a lot of format around them. If you look at the final version, they don't even look like they're in that table, correct? Good. That's the goal. But they are. Everything in here is in one big table. So we need 2 header rows, and then we need enough columns and rows to fit everything that we need. So let's go look at how we would make that and how many we need. 9 rows, 2 headers, 2 columns. That's what it says. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit Table, Create Table. So I'm looking for 9 rows, 2 columns, and 2 header rows. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to drag out that table margin line to fill this column. Good. Now the top 2 rows, I need them to be together. So I don't need this center divider in these two. So I'm going to select these 2 cells, right click or control click on it and hit merge cells. And that'll put those 2 together. Merge cells. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the word ingredients and the shells. I would say macaron, but I'm sure I'm wrong. Macaroon. I know it's one of those 2. Grab that and drag that over here as well. Now, we can see the font sizes and breakdown of this. You can feel free to copy that in as well. It's Deuterman Bold, 16 over 19. So we're going to go Deuterman Bold, 16 over 19. Does that sound familiar to you? It does, because we've used this exact same thing before. Because the tracking, 300. We've used that before as well. So this is the same thing as the instructions over here. So we're going to save that style so we can come back and use that later. The macaron shells are 14 over 17, medium. So again, Deuterman, 14 over 17, medium. Good. So that gives me my base breakdown. Next, I need to start copying and pasting all of this information into my table. So you're going to need to come over here and kind of copy each thing as you move along the way. Some of them you can kind of duplicate. If it's a half a cup, just type in that -2 in there. It just makes things a little easier. Type in your numbers as need be. Go back and copy what you need when you need. All right, once you pasted your last thing, go through, select your entire table. We're going to that same font again, 11 over 13, selecting all of these cells, all of them together. I want to go up to the top and I want to align these items to the center of their cell. So that way they kind of drop down, they get in the middle of each cell. Now the table itself currently doesn't have a whole lot of style. If we look at the actual preview, it has this black stroke around everything. I think it's a little messy looking. I also think it's a little too pushed to the right. We can move this cell over to kind of shorten up this left cell. So we're going to play with this to make it look a little more professional. So the first thing I want to do is select this column. This column is too wide. I'm going to shorten it up, but I don't want to shorten the whole table. So I do want to bring that right side back over. Okay. So that gives me a nice little look where it's not too dominant on that left side. Next, I want to select the entire table. Now, if it's only letting you grab these header rows like this, hit Command A and it'll grab it for you. I want to go up to the top and I want to select all of these little blue lines. These are the lines that you see in your table. I want to turn them all off. I want none on all of those. Now, what that's going to do when I get out of this is it's going to take those lines straight off. But this doesn't do a very good job of showing me my ingredients here. This at the top, that's fine, but the ingredients themselves, that creates a bit of an issue, right? I can't quite tell what goes with what. So what I want to do is select just the ingredients at the bottom. And I want to turn off all of these lines except for the horizontal middle line, that one right there. That one, I want to push up to a 0.25 black color. In fact, I'm going to use the gray that is the color of this cookbook. And that's going to separate those pieces by just a little bit. I think that's much cleaner. So now I want to select all of this table one more time. And I want to make this table a little bit smaller. I think it's a little big. And if we're talking about a page of chocolate chip cookies, I want to see a cookie, right? So over here at the top right, we can see our cell size, our height of our cells. I'm going to shrink that down just a little bit. So I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller and open up a little bit of area down at the bottom. About like that, I'm at a 1/2 inch. Now, let's get our black arrow. And let's clean up that table. Let's grab that frame and kind of pull it up. And I'm going to apply a frame down here at the bottom that's going to go all the way to the bottom. And this is going to be my chocolate chip cookie. So Command D, go find your images and look for that chocolate chip cookie. Make sure it fits to your frame just nicely and good. You can round a corner on that if you would like. It would help with some of the consistency for the rest of it. So I'm going to grab that properties panel. And on the bottom right and bottom left, I'm going to round those up to 0.5 to give that rounded edge and kind of look like it's coming off of the bottom of the ingredients there. Hit OK, and we are good. All right, so hit W on your keyboard. Let's check it out. How do you think it looks? Did it come out okay? Are these clean? Do we want to take this text and maybe make it a little bit bigger? Hold Shift and Command, and you can do that if you would like. Maybe it looks a little better off to the side here. It's entirely up to you. So I want you to play around with this. What I have given you is everything you need to know to create the rest of this cookbook. There's no reason why you couldn't copy and paste the text that I give you and create this next thing. In fact, the hardest part were these little buttons, and all you have to do is copy and paste those from the top. Utilize the colors that I've given you. Keep in that color scheme. Go through this entire 2-page spread and see if you can match what we have been doing. Go up to the top and create character styles. You're creating multiple ingredients here, multiple tables, multiple setups over here of descriptions. They're all the same sizes. Go make character styles for those so you don't just have H1 and H2. Get yourself an ingredient style, an ingredients header style, an instruction style, so that you have styles to work with. You have all the tools in your toolbox to build the house. I've shown you how a hammer works. I've shown you how a nail works. Go make the house. So that's your daily dose of design. If you found this helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, like or subscribe to the channel, drop a comment in there, let me know what you're thinking. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.